Hello, kings and queens. I'm back with another video. I'm Queen J, and this is Talks with Queen J. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about a certain person that we have had canceled in the black community for years and years and years. And that is good old Omarosa. With that being said, one day, I'm off. I'm scrolling on YouTube trying to find some commentary, trying to see what I want to talk about next. And I come across this YouTuber. I can't think of his name right now. Sorry, guys. But I come across this YouTuber doing a whole story time on Omarosa's book called Unhinged. Now, these past couple months and weeks, we've been seeing Omarosa come out and do these interviews. We've heard all these things about her being fired, and her book came out, but we wasn't really checking for her. I know I wasn't really checking for her. But after listening to this man, he wasn't reading actually the whole entire book, but he has maybe like 4 or 5 videos of him reading different excerpts from the book. Things that he thinks we should know about, things that are important, things that we would be very surprised about. Now, from listening to most of his commentary and reading the book, I would have to say that Omarosa is not canceled for me anymore. I would say, I won't say that she got a full-blown invite to the cookout, but I would say that she could stop by, grab a plate, and go, and we'll think about her coming back and staying a little bit longer. Now, in Omarosa's book, I haven't read it myself, but from what he has read and what I gathered from him, Omarosa has been doing her due diligence since she's been in the White House. Now, I did not know that Omarosa, this is her 3rd time working for the White House. So this was not her first rodeo. The first time she worked in the White House was when she was working with Al Gore. And the second time she was working in the White House is when she was working with the Clintons. Those were both Democrats. Now she's coming back, and now she went to go work with Trump. And I'm just like, everybody's like, why is she working with Trump? But if you watch The Apprentice since the first year that it came out, Omarosa was on the first episode. And I used to watch The Apprentice. It's a very interesting show. It was. Some other things I learned about Omarosa in that reading is she grew up in the projects. Her father and her brother were murdered. I don't know if they were murdered by the police or who they were murdered by, but she has that background of coming from nothing, being poor, living in the projects, family members being murdered, and things like that, to now where she's working in the White House. We all knew that Omarosa was smart, but I didn't know that she had her master's from Howard. So Omarosa is a very smart cookie. Now, the last thing that I heard about Omarosa in the news before she was coming out with these tapes and doing all these interviews and whatnot was how she got fired. And she acted crazy at this so-called Christmas party, how she was yelling obscenities, how they had to drag her out, and how she was yelling to talk to Donald. All that is completely false. The government put that story out to make her look crazy as hell. And since she's put in the public eye to be the black villain, the black woman villain, we believed it. The way they fired this lady, they took her into the Situation Room. Now, in her book, she says the Situation Room is a place where President Obama planned the attack on Osama, and where other presidents have gone to, I guess, plan very important things where it has to be top secret. Now, some back information. Going into the Situation Room, there's supposed to be no phones, no nothing where you can record, not a thing. But somehow, some way, Omarosa got the way she was fired, what happened to her, all on tape. So she went into the Situation Room. Her secretary or whatever, her assistant came in there with her. They told her secretary to go. wait outside. I think it was John Kelly in there. It was a couple people in there, some lawyers in there. And they were basically trying to fire her and keep her on the hush. They told her they had some serious allegations against her and that this was a non-negotiable conversation. So she's like, what is going on? Does the president know about this? She's trying to find out, like, what's going on? Why am I here? And they were basically saying, well, I guess this is going to be your termination, and the reason we're firing you is because there's been some discrepancies and you using the car service. The car service. The White House is $1 million, probably, I don't know if it's $1 billion, but it's definitely $1 million government association, whatever the case is. And y'all are coming down on this black woman for using a car service, and she works for the White House. A senior worker for the White House at that. Okay, so she was like, well, I have a list. I have my receipts of all the times that I've used the car service because I am the only African American in this, and this high up in the government, at the table. I'm going to keep my receipts. So she was like, let's compare notes. That's when they told her, we don't need to compare notes. This is a non-negotiable conversation. She was like, so what are you talking about? What days did I use it that I wasn't supposed to use it? So basically they're telling her, oh, you used it for this such and such a date. She was like, okay, looked in her phone, saw what the date was and said, oh yeah, that was the baseball game where, after, I guess, I forgot where this baseball game was, but there was a baseball game where two government officials got shot by a crazy man. I know we all remember that. And I guess the next day or a couple of days later, they had another baseball game to, celebrate them, commemorate them and all that. So she was like, everybody was using it, not just me. So they were all looking at each other like, oh shit, she's not as dumb as we thought. She's not a dumb nigga like we thought she was. She's not a pet. She got her receipts. So then they come out and say, oh, well, you let your husband ride in the car with you. And she's like, okay, all right. So basically, she was just like, so where are the serious, they just kept saying they had serious allegations, and they never told her what the serious allegations was, but basically they were just trying to fire her because they didn't want her there anymore. Basically, they didn't want her there anymore. They could not find anything to solidify firing her, so they came up with this bullshit. And basically, she came back at them talking about two incidents where one government official used $3 million for a jet. $3 million for a jet. And another government official was, I think she said $10 million for a 19-man security team. $10 million for a 19-man security team, and you're coming at me about a car service. I'm a fucking Uber. So, I think that everybody should go read her book. That's just a taste of what the book is about. It's about from when she started getting into the White House, her journey of going to school, of dealing with living in the projects up until she got fired. It's a very, very interesting book. You guys should really rethink about, letting Omarosa come to the barbecue, come to the cookout, because she's spilling tea, she's stating facts, and she's letting us know what is what. And honestly, as much as we don't like Republicans, or as much as we are Democrat or whatever party you are, I feel like we always need one of us in there with them. Whether we think they're cooning, jiving, shooking, whatever we think they're doing, we still should have one of our people in there, because if we don't, we're not going to know what's going on. We're not going to know what they do. We're not going to know anything. We're just going to be blind as a bat, because now we have nobody in there. I mean, I think they have Ben Carson in there, but Ben Carson is all the way to the other side. There's no coming back from him. So he's a lost cause. But the honest to truth, real reason why they fired her is because she was getting close to the so-called N-word tape, where Donald Trump was calling people N-words multiple times during The Apprentice. And they thought she was coming close to it. So they wanted to get her out of there before it came out. Mind you, back information from the book too, she said that there was information coming out about this in 2016. It is now 2018, and this is really the first time we're hearing about this. But At the same time, she didn't even think that the tape existed. When she heard about it, she didn't even believe it was true or anything. So really, they fired her for no reason. But like I said, the book is called Unhinged. It is by Omarosa. It's a good read. It's a good listen if you want to listen to it on audible.com, the app. And yeah, you guys do your research. Like I said, I'm for our black people. I am anti-Trump, and Omarosa did her due diligence by writing this book and letting us know what the facts are. So tell me what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about what I said. If you guys are going to read the book, if she's still canceled. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I love you guys. Thank you.